Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Transport Fever 2. I certainly hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you happen to be, because I'm so excited to be jumping in and checking out some Transport Fever 2. A huge thank you to the developers and publishers for giving me the opportunity to check this out a little bit early. The game isn't out at the time of recording. This is a pre-release build. This video is not sponsored, but I did just want to let you know that the game key was provided for free. So with all that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about what you're seeing before we start putting in some transport lines here. So this is a map that I generated with the tropical theme. This map has a medium number of towns and a low number of factories, or industries, I should say. Now, you might be looking at it and thinking, hold on, low number of industries? Yeah, there's a lot of them for a low number. But the reason I decided to go with a low number of industries is because quite a bit during my sort of off-camera testing, I was finding some really easy production chains. There's actually one on this map that I'll show you that kind of highlights exactly what I mean. So we have a farm here that produces grain. We have a factory here that will turn grain into food. We have a town over here that wants food. There's a lot of that I was finding happening on some of the larger maps I would generate with higher density industries. And that makes sense because you just have more industries available. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a criticism. It's just that I think for a Let's Play series, I think for a video series, it's going to make things a little bit too easy. Speaking of easy, we're not playing on easy difficulty. This is medium difficulty, which means we start with $5,000. And with that all said, and with that all out of the way, I think it might be time to get a little bit busy here and get things started. And I'm gonna start by using and abusing this really easy setup here around Penzance, however that's pronounced. So what we want to do is we want to take grain from the farm, we want to take it up to this factory and turn it into food. And then we want to take that food and deliver it to Penzance. So the way we do that is going to be quite simple. We're going to go into buildings, and we're actually going to start in the town itself. So we're going to come over here, and what I want to do is I want to put a road depot, which is where we're going to buy and sell our vehicles. And we're going to just throw it, I think, let's say right on the edge of town is probably a nice little spot for it. Get it nice and parallel to that road as well. So something a little bit like that looks pretty good to me. Not too expensive either and doesn't bulldoze any buildings. Now, if we go here, this is our truck station, and clicking that actually shows me what the demand is and where it is. So we can see that we have some buildings that want food and some buildings that want, that icon there is actually machinery. And then if I put this thing on a road, we can see roughly where it can deliver to. So what I'm thinking I'll do for this is, well, actually, we could go even further than that, and we could put in a truck unload stop, which is a small truck stop to unload cargo to be placed on the sidewalk, does not allow the loading of cargo. And that would actually be pretty useful, say right there, because that will provide coverage to all the buildings that want the food, and we don't need to load any cargo here in the middle of town anyway. And it would be cheaper. So I'm thinking that we're going to go for a little truck stop right about there. And if I hit numpad 3, I can actually see what the zoning is. So we can see green is residential, blue is commercial, yellow is industrial. It's the commercial that wants the food. So if we make sure those commercial buildings have coverage, which they do by placing that there or even there, we can say little truck stop there and we're sorted. So that's everything we're going to need in the middle of town for the time being. Let's head over to the farm. So this is just an unload stop. So this isn't going to do anything for us here. What we can do is go truck station, and we can say that we want to have this thing go really nicely in here. We're actually only going to need one platform. So let's say just the one platform on the right. Let's make it 20 meters long so we can get plenty of cargo on that platform. And let's just throw it, say, Let's give it a little bit of distance from the road, actually. We'll throw it right about there. So that's where we're going to pick up the grain. And then what I'm thinking we can do is we can throw a bus and tram stop just along here somewhere. So we'll throw it maybe right by the entrance so that this thing, you know, that's where we'll drop off the grain. We're not, that's a actual bus stop. That's where we're going to drop off the grain. And then what we can do is save a little bit of money by just using one platform here. And this is where the food is going to be picked up to be taken down into the town. So that's my thinking right there. And I'm just wanting to make sure if I was to put a second platform. Yeah, so we're actually saving money by just doing the one platform, which I think is a good thing. And I think what we can also do is, let's see, we can save a bit of money by putting it up there. So I think that's exactly what we'll do. We'll place the truck stop there. Now that might be a little bit unnecessary. We don't necessarily need to have multiple places to drop off the goods and then load it elsewhere, but I'm just doing that because I can, to be totally honest. Now let's go ahead and actually set this up. Let's set up our line. So what we want to do is we want to name this, which is going to be P-E-N-Z-A-N-C-E, Penzance Food. It's all going to be one line, which is kind of a cool thing I can do here. So stop number 1 is Penzance West, which is pick up grain, then drop off grain at York Road, and then pick up the food at Winchester South. And then we take the food over to this spot right here, which is Broadway. Now, like I said, this is all going to be done in one go. So if we go in, we can actually say that at Penzance West, the only thing we're doing is this right here, grain, load grain. And then at York Road, the only thing we're doing is unloading the grain. Then at Winchester South, the only thing we're doing is loading the food. And then at Broadway, only thing we're doing is unloading the food. So that right there is essentially gonna let us go ahead and have everything be on the one line, which I think is probably a pretty good thing. We'll see how it works out. So we do need to get vehicles. Let's go ahead and do that. And if it's not obvious, this video is gonna sort of be a bit of an introduction to Transport Fever for those of you that don't quite know what it's all about. Think Transport Tycoon Deluxe or whatever. Think a game like that. It's very similar, just a modern take on it. Let's go ahead and get ourselves some vehicles though. So like I said, in fact, I don't think I did. I might have mentioned it. We're using Asian vehicles because I'm pretty sure they're new in Transport Fever 2. So in this case, we're using Asian horse-drawn carriages, and I'm going to buy myself 5 of them. That's not that many, but there's method to my madness. I'm going to make them all red, and we're going to set them on the Penzance food line. They're not going to do anything just yet, though, because I haven't actually gone ahead and unpaused the game, because I want to set up some bus stops really quickly. So we're going to have a bus that goes sort of out there, down to there, and then I guess we can have this one sort of go over to there, and this one can sort of go up to about there. Let's go ahead and just connect all of those together so we have a nice little pedestrian loop going on. It's going to be a little bit weird looking, but that's fine. And essentially, all we need to do is rename this to P-E-N-Z-A-N-C-E loop right there. Alrighty, so that's going to be a way for pedestrians to get around town. Let's get ourselves a few more vehicles. These are going to be troikas. And I'm going to say I want 5 of them. So we'll buy the 5 of those. We'll set them to be yellow to match the line that they're going on. And we'll assign them. And then if I unpause, we've got our troikas heading out there. So that's all 5 of those heading off. Then the red vehicles are going to head off towards the farm and do all that good stuff. Now, the reason I only got 5 of the horse-drawn carriages for the cargo is because what I want to do is, well, what I'm thinking I'll do, I want to get, I think, 15 vehicles on this line in total. So the way I'm thinking I'll do that is when these guys get to the farm, I'll buy and send out 5 more. And then when those guys get to the farm, I'll buy and send out 5 more. So that way, in theory, if I was to keep on doing that, we might hit a point where we constantly have vehicles turning up to the farms. We kind of constantly have a supply going on there. That's my thinking. I don't know if that'll actually work, but I think that'd be kind of cool. That's my thinking anyway. Now the good news is this place here is filled up with 65, 66, etc. units of grain. The unfortunate news is these guys can only carry, I believe, 4 units. Yeah. So that's kind of a thing we're going to need to deal with. It is 1850. In the very bottom right, you can see the current date and year. It is only 1850, so we are going to be dealing with horses and carts and all that stuff for a little while. I could set up some trains to do this stuff. I'm not going to do that just yet. Trains are very, very expensive. In quite a few of my test runs with this, I've completely bankrupted myself going into trains way too early, so we'll see how this goes. Anyway, those guys are arriving at the farm. Let me go and say buy vehicles, cargo, 1, 2, that's 5. Make them red and food line. So those guys can head out. These guys are picking up grain as they do that. And then I think we'll just sort of keep that pattern going and see what ends up happening. I'm hoping that this idea works and they don't just all end up bunched up at some point, because that would be an absolute pain in the butt. But we'll figure it out. Anyway, while that's all going on, I'll slow the game down just a little bit and show you about some of the rest of the map, because there are some other interesting areas. For example, right here, Budley Salterton, which is a great name. They are wanting tools right there, and they're wanting fuel. So fuel is actually going to be really easy for Budley Salterton, because we have an oil well right up here. We have an oil refinery and then a fuel refinery. So let me demonstrate what I could do to make... I'm not going to set up this line yet. I will eventually, but I could make it very, very easy to get that line really efficient by simply doing that. So you go from here to there, and you just loop around. So that's a really, really easy production line right there. So easy. In terms of tools, all we need are planks. So let's have a little look. We have a sawmill right there, and then we have the tools factory. We just need a forest. What would be the nearest... What's the nearest forest to this place? Probably up there. Maidstone Forest, or possibly Maidstone, actually, because it would have to go all the way around there. Probably this one, probably down a Market Forest. Either way, Budley Salterton is probably going to be the next town that we go and look at. Let me see. Oh, you guys haven't arrived there yet. That's fine. And then actually we have this place as well. We have Warminster, which wants food and machinery. Now, food will be easy because they have a food processing plant, and then I guess we have farms over here. Bit of a distance to go, admittedly, but that's not terrible. We could set up some trains to move food from maybe this farm to that food processing plant, or just trucks or whatever, but eventually we'll do that as well. I do really want to try and get all of the towns dealt with in terms of their needs and their wants and all that stuff. Down this way, we have Bedlington, which wants goods and machinery. They have a goods factory right there, but that needs plastics and steel. Steel is made from iron ore and coal. There's actually an iron mine and a coal mine right there, so that'll be very easy to make steel down here in Bedlington. Plastic, on the other hand, is going to be slightly trickier. Plastic, so it's over here. So it's made from oil. So plastic's made from oil. That'll be interesting, because I'm not entirely sure. Do we only have one plastic factory on the map? Oh, we do. That's actually very interesting. What about machinery? What is this as well? That's just a quarry. Is that just stone? It is just stone. Okay, so stone goes into construction materials. Oh, wow. Harwich, whatever. They want construction materials. That's going to be so easy. It's going to be so easy. We have stone, construction materials, right? We should set that up pretty quickly, to be totally honest. So machinery. This is a machinery plant. So that is planks and steel. So steel can be made over here. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. So steel can be made here. which can then go to here. We have a lumber mill. Where's the nearest sawmill? There's a sawmill down there. We actually, yeah, so this right here, sawmill or lumber from there to the lumber mill, turn it into planks, turn it into tools, and then so yeah. So there's some really easy chains here. Sorry, I'm rambling a little bit. What is my hello? Hello? Okay, that was interesting. My keyboard just lost its mind. These guys have arrived here. Let's go ahead and get 5 more trucks. So horse-drawn carriages, we are going to want 5 of them. We want to make them all red and set them on the food line. So let's see how that plays out. I'm hoping for good things. I'm definitely hoping for good things. Production at the farms shouldn't be a problem. I'm just hoping that I'm not going to bankrupt myself in the process of doing all this. I'm also wondering if I could be a little bit cheeky and get a sneaky little road kind of going around here. You know, just something kind of along the coast. Might not be a bad idea. Let's give it a shot. Let's invest in the coastline here and see if I can maybe do this. Can I also, I can raise and lower the road. That right there would save me some money. So let's do that. And this right here is quite expensive. Can I save some money on that? Oh, yeah. Oh, hello. 36,000 is not bad. That is going to be rough for some of these horse-drawn vehicles, admittedly, because they are going to be, well, having to go up and down hill quite considerably. But that's all right. We'll not worry too much about it. I think this right here is going to be expensive regardless of what I do. It's a lot of dirt we're having to raise and lower there. So I guess we'll invest. We'll see what happens. And I want to bring this out and up a little bit. And then just over and maybe lower again because it needs to be... I don't know why it's doing that weird, like, raised part there. That's very strange. But essentially what I want to do is that. I don't know why it's trying to raise it so much. Oh, well, we'll do that. That's fine. And that should, if we have a little look, yeah, so that has created an alternate way to go for my vehicles. I guess we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully very well. Hopefully very well. I'm hoping for good things. Anyway, I'm thinking that, oh, these guys have just got to there. Do I want to get 20 vehicles in that line? Do I want to get 20 vehicles in that line? That's the question. I'm thinking I kind of do, to be honest. I'm thinking that part of me is looking at the idea of 20 vehicles and thinking it might be a good idea. Because we have these guys on their way back. We have these guys on their way into town. We have these guys just heading out there. I think 20 vehicles might be the way to go. So let's take a chance. We'll make them all red. Put them on the food line. And we're going to hope that this works out. We are down to 3.4 million. We have spent $1.4 million on essentially this chain right here. So I'm really hoping that pays off. You right there. Do you have anything? You have 2 units of food. That's fine. You right there. You have 4. That's not bad. You've got 3. You've got none. That's not great. You've got none as well. Okay, so some of them have food. I guess. That's fine. As long as they make money. That's kind of where we're at. As long as we actually see some profits come of this, I'll be quite happy. I'm just a little worried that I might not see any profits at all, but we'll see. You know, let's not be a negative Nancy here, all right? So you're carrying 2. So what exactly will 2 units of food get me? $6,655. I just noticed that there's 3 horses in that. Interesting. Okay. So 600 and whatever that was. Not bad. You're carrying 4, so I'm expecting double. Let's have a little look. What are we getting? 13,310. Genuinely not bad. I think you had nothing if I remember. Oh, no, 9,000. Okay. Yeah, that's not terrible. I am noticing, though, that it's entirely possible my cargo vehicles are going to cause this area to back up a little bit. Might need to move that at some point, but we'll not stress too much about it. Let's have a little look then. So, you guys are all holing as well, right? None? Good. Wait, are you the same? Wait, hold on a minute. Are you both holing nothing? So none and none. And 3 and 4. Okay. How slow do you go up that hill? 16, 15, 14. Okay. Maybe these massive hills weren't such a good idea. I'm sure we'll manage. Are you producing anything right now? You've consumed 40. All right. Well, I'm sure this will work out. We've got more vehicles coming here for picking all this up. We've got a lot of vehicles moving back and forth. I'm really just hoping we can actually make money on this. Because I am somewhat aware that there's not that many people wanting to use public transport around Penzance. So maybe it would be worth investing in public transport elsewhere. That's kind of my thinking here. I mean, if we have a little look, supply and demand. So they want 22 units of food, I guess. We're only providing like 8. Oh, we're providing 50%. Not bad. I don't know. I'm thinking we might be able to make this work. I really do think we need to get rid of the Broadway station there, though. I think that's going to be a problem. But I'm thinking we can maybe make this work. Anyway, my thinking about another public transport setup was essentially that we go to Warminster because it's pretty dense. I mean, if we have a look here, you can see basically the stronger the color, the higher the density. This right here, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. The supply rating's pretty bad, but that's fine. But there's good density around here, and there's a pretty good set of roads for a bit of public transport. So if I was to say go there and then, I don't know, there, we could probably get a pretty strong bus line in and around there. So if we were to go and say new line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that one's in the wrong spot, isn't it? Okay, let me get rid of all of these for a second. So remove all of the stations. Let me go in and bulldoze you. And then fire that onto the correct side of the road. And then we'll do that again. So 1, oh, hold on. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. That gives us Queensway to Highfield Road to High Street to the Drive to Green Lane. That pretty much covers everything. And that'll be the Warminster Loop right there. And I think that'll be good. I think a bit of public transport around here will be a bit of a success. We are going to want a depot though, because having the horses and carriages travel so far to get here would be a terrible idea. I can also squeeze it right in there, which is beautiful. So let's do that. Let's get ourselves some passenger vehicles, some troikas. And you know what? Let's buy... I want to buy 10 of them. I'm going to buy 10 of them. We're going to make them bright green, and they're going to go in the Warminster Loop. And I'm hoping for good things on that. Warminster has a population of 206. So that's pretty good. We should see some people move around there. As for over here, it seems like the passenger line around Penzance is doing us no favors. Definitely seems like it's not doing so good for us. As for up here, I mean, did you even collect anything? You didn't. Why is this? Why does it feel like this isn't producing? Why do I get the feeling this isn't? What's going on there? So do you have anything that you're going to drop off? So you have some grain. All right, so you have some grain. What's going to happen here? So you're going to U-turn, and then you're going to drop that off. And how much is that going to get me? So that gets me 6,700 and something. And then there is food there. So are you going to go in and pick that up? Yeah, so you're going to go in and pick that up. Okay, okay. I feel like we could probably get rid of this little York Road thing, but that's... I mean, it's there, so we might as well have it, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure my plan has worked as nicely as I would have wanted it to. But I think I think a little bit more time and it might be okay. I just have a feeling that that might be the case. Good news is Warminster is... There are people that are wanting to use these lines. Got 300 from that one. That Troika, for example, is actually full. So that's good. We've got what looks like a couple of people waiting here. 765. That Troika stayed full. So yeah, we are actually seeing people wanting to go around Warminster via Troika. So that's nice. It's always good that we're seeing some kind of progress. What was that? 13,000? Not bad. Are we making money? I mean, we can have a look at our charts and all that if we really want to. So, I mean, looking at this, it'd be nice if I could have a bigger time scale. So, in our first year, we spent $703,000. In our second year, we spent $787,000 and made a measly $47,000. In our third year, 85 versus 298, then 126 versus 385. This year, we've made 105 versus an expenditure of 196. So we are still losing money. But I think this year we did also build those bus stations in the bus depot. So I wonder if in 1855 we can make money. Because I wonder if I go through 1855 not spending money on infrastructure and instead just spending money on vehicle, I guess, maintenance. I wonder if we can make money that way. Plus, we'll have the income from the Warminster buses, or the Warminster Troikas, I should say. So in theory, we should see a higher I mean, there is going to be a decent bit of expenditure from the 10 Troikas around here, but I'm hoping for good things. I'm definitely hoping for good things. We can see down here our earnings are not as bad as they were. So hopefully things keep on improving. The only thing I would also really like to see is, I guess, a more consistent production out of here, to be totally honest. Like, I'd love to see this right here just get completely full of food, but I know that's not going to happen because the second... That has me thinking, actually. These vehicles might be more efficient if I split them into 2 lines. Although, because my thinking is, would it be more efficient to have them go from here to here and just like back and forth like that? You know, moving the grain to the farm, back to get grain in there, and then there. And then have a dedicated line for food back and forth as well. Because I think with the dedicated food line and the dedicated grain line, we'd see more frequent deliveries of grain, and then every time the food's being moved, I think that the vehicles be full. So if we look at our lines, let's add a new line. And let's say it's going to be from Penzance West to there. And what we'll do is say PENZANCE, grain to food. So that should be fine. And then I guess what we can do is, I am going to need to edit this one a little bit, but I think what we can do is take, so we want Winchester South to Broadway. So take those 2 out, and then that's just a dedicated delivery line for food. So that should be fine. So if I go into my vehicle manager and I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we'll recolor those to be bright blue, and then we're going to move them onto that line. So that way we have vehicles that are dedicated to just bringing grain back and forth here, and then vehicles that are dedicated to just bringing food into Penzance. And I'm just curious to see if that works out better. I'm also curious to see my expenditure at the minute, because it's not... Oh, that was rough. So 11... Yeah, so last year was quite expensive. Okay. That's not ideal. That's not ideal, but I think we'll make it work. Is Warminster... Warminster's not as popular with the buses as I thought it would be. I hoped it would get more popular, I'm gonna be honest. I really hoped it would get more popular, but apparently not. Okay, well that's fine. I think we've made a pretty solid start. We still have enough money to get by. If things go really south, then we can, if we really want to. There is a way to, yeah, borrow money. I don't think we're gonna need to be honest. I think we'll manage. I don't think it's the end of the world. I mean, we've already spent a fair bit here, but I'm pretty sure that with the change to the lines around here, we can manage. I mean, these guys have no food at all. That's good. All right. So let's see. Do you have anything? No food. That's great. You guys should all be full of grain though. So yeah, these guys are actually full of grain, which has me thinking that I'd imagine pretty soon we'll see our first deliveries come in. Yeah, so you are full of grain. So how much money are we going to be looking at on this? I guess we have a bunch of grain deliveries coming. I think we'll make it work. I think we're going to just not stress too much about this. I think we have another couple of years of money. We have some loans that we can take. I think this is a pretty solid start. I think, you know, this Penzance might need renamed because the name bugs me and I feel like my accent just doesn't do it justice. But other than that, I think we're okay. I think we can make this work. And I think the regular grain deliveries will help us out a little bit here. I imagine our income this year might be a little bit higher than it has been before. So that's 6,736. That'll be another 6,736 right here, I would imagine. So right there. And I would also imagine that's going to increase the food production. Yeah, so we've got 3, 4. So that'll be one full vehicle right there. And then that's 5 and 6. So for every one of these, we get 2 units of food. But these guys should be able to deliver twice as often as... Yeah, I think we have a good mix. I think this will work. I'm not certain, but I feel like it will. I feel like we'll be okay. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for today. Or at least... Ooh, it's a new train. Too bad we're not using trains. Yeah, that is going to be it for today, at least for this episode of Transport Fever 2. It's weird saying that. It feels like it wasn't that long ago I was playing the first one. It's definitely weird saying that. Either way, thank you so much for watching. It's been my absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.